How to have an amazing social life as an introvert and easily meet new people. Welcome in, fam. Much love, Trav here. So, if you're not very sociable, or maybe you're not that bold, or you're not that lively, but you still want to meet people easily and have an amazing social life, then this is for you. If you're an introvert, it can mean a couple different things. You may be taking the Myers-Briggs. It tells you you're a percentage introvert. I'm on there. I'm a 55% introvert. Maybe you take the Hexaco test, which will tell you how sociable you are, how socially bold you are, how lively you are, how your social self-esteem is. So depending on what you score on that, I would give you different recommendations. If you're like me, where you're not that sociable, you don't really want to go to the party. If you go to the party, you leave the party early. You don't really want to have to show up to things alone or go to things, but you also have that craving for deep connection and meeting people. Maybe you prefer hanging out with one or two people or even just being alone to having a large group. Then this is for you. Welcome in, fam. Much love, Trav here. Another way to think about introversion, extroversion is if you are for novelty. So if you're an extrovert, you prefer more novelty. You want more new people, but you also want more new situations in your life. Whereas if you're an extrovert, you more prefer routine. You're more focused on one thing or a couple things, and maybe one or couple people. So I think what you want to avoid and what can I relate to is a situation where you don't really meet new people from your work. So you're looking around and this is the people that I know from my work. And then since you're not very sociable, you're like, well, what am I supposed to do now? If I move to a new place or I live in a new place, do I need to just go out and like approach strangers? I don't really want to do that. It feels unnatural. So I came up with a strategy and a system that brings new people into my life easily that I'm going to share with you. And the first thing is, well, let me take you back to that scenario with me. I was all in on my online business and I met no one in person through that. So it was like, how do I meet people? So I would like go to different meetups and groups and events, and that kind of worked, but it was a lot of work that I didn't want to have to do. So one thing I did is I changed my career. You don't have to change your career. You can also change your position within your career. So for instance, I continue my online business, but let me work in farming where I get to meet other farmers and volunteers, and I'm meeting people through my work. Well, it got to a point where I've kind of met everybody I'm working with, but I still want to be able to meet other people. So I pivoted and I started doing farmers markets. Now through my work at farmers markets, in the same industry, I'm meeting people. Interesting people are coming into my life, and it's routine. It's not a novel thing. I'm seeing the same people every week, and it's a pretty easy way to bring people into your life without having to necessarily like start a whole new thing. And then after work, I don't feel like I have to go meet people because I already did that at work, so it happens naturally, right, and easily. And then I also started doing school tours, and I'm having people come into my life through that. So basically, one of my recommendations is you set up your work life where you have the opportunity to meet new people. You want social opportunity in your work is really valuable. If you're in a situation where I meet nobody through my work and I haven't like to have the right people in my life and I want to meet more people, you could consider changing careers, but you should also consider changing roles in your career. Maybe transfer to different sort of outward facing situation where, if it's going to be work to meet people anyways, why don't you do that during your work so you don't feel obligated or have to outside of it, right? Then the other thing is to create an inbound life. So I was not meeting anyone through my online business. Why don't I start doing retreats and inviting people out here? I'm doing online coaching. Why don't I offer in-person coaching? When I travel, why don't I stay with various people? Through my YouTube, why don't I post where I am? Why don't I make reviews of where I'm living? And then interesting people will message me or reach out to me when they're here, and I can meet them easily through that, right? So by doing these things, choosing a job and then a position within the job where I'm meeting people naturally and easily, and then through my social media use and my business, I'm also meeting people. I've got like a ton of amazing people, interesting people come into my life who are generally familiar with me or like me already, and it takes so much of the work out of it where I can be myself and I don't have to be like really social and go to parties and do all this stuff that I don't want to do. So I hope that you can take some of that. So for the social media thing is, it depends how introverted you are, right? If you're really shy or low self-esteem, then you're going to have other problems. But if it's just a sociability issue, then the way you use your social media in promoting your life can bring really interesting people into your life pretty easily. So I found that to be really nice and useful touch in my life, where I feel like I'm at a situation now where I know I have good friends. I've been out here. I moved to a new place about a couple years ago, and I made a whole new social network. And over the years, I'm going to get to know them better. But I also know that over the years, new people are going to come to me without me having to do so much, and old people are going to come to me also without having me having to go well out of my way for it. So I hope you find that useful. If you're introverted, just know that you're not alone, and if you're lonely, but you don't want to go out there, you can create situations where you don't have to. So I hope you find that useful. I appreciate you. I have a new course that by the time you see this might be dropped or not. It's called Dream Life Fulfillment, and it just boiled down everything that I've learned from creating an amazing life for myself and coaching hundreds of people in 8 simple steps that will help you achieve your dream life. So there's a link to that down below. You should go check that out. If it's not open yet, check back in a week. I'm going to be promoting it in most of my videos from now on, and focusing on that product and the groups behind it, because it can help a lot of people that way. So thank you, appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace, much love.